I mean, I work with U.S. Lacrosse and in their Sports Science Safety Committee. I've been doing that for several years now, and you know, that's one organization that's done an incredible amount of work and looking at data as it relates to the sports of both men's and women's lacrosse, boys and girls lacrosse. And you know, they're very unique, they're very different sports, but being able to characterize what are the injuries that occur, not just concussion, but also what are the mechanisms of those injuries, and are there differences between the kinds of mechanisms of injury that we see. I work with U.S. Soccer, and as you know, part of their Recognize to Recover and one of their consultants, and again, they're also very invested in terms of trying to explore what's going on with boys and girls and wanting to keep kids involved with a phenomenal sport and looking at the injuries that occur. For soccer, there is this idea that heading is the culprit, and most of the research has been, it is actually a very recent study that looked at heading and found that though the act of the aerial challenge accounts for a majority of the concussions, that the actual mechanism, even during that aerial challenge, is actually elbow to head or contact with the ground. So we need more research as it relates to what are the mechanisms of these injuries, and being able to contrast, are there differences between genders or not, because there may not be, right? So, and then I work with USA Football, and I work with other organizations that are really trying to address the issue of concussion, not just for their sports, but also for youth in general and for boys and girls. One of the things that we talked a little bit about is just in our session was the fact that we look at the sports that we see at the NCAA level and at the high school level, but there are a lot of sports that we're not even touching, right? So you look at rugby, or you look at ultimate frisbee, or you look at skateboarding and bicycling and skiing, and we're really not capturing some of the information and the data that we have as it relates to those sports, and those are important. Well, I'm a team physician, so because I'm a team physician, I think to many, this brings people from all over the country to sort of address the issue of concussion in the female athlete. And I think it's a population that needs to be addressed and needs to be looked at so that we can get more information. One of the things early in my career, I think there were a lot of issues as it related to the female athlete, and issues related to bone injury and eating disorders and menstrual dysfunction, and there would always be someone that would say, see, this is why girls shouldn't play sports. So to me, I think one of the things that is good about Pink Concussions was just trying to bring to the forefront the issue of gender in sport, and certainly with this issue in terms of concussion. But the take-home message is that we want our girls to play sports, we want our kids to play sports, so they can learn to be leaders and they can learn to be better team members.